Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, where today we are living in a target-rich environment. Morgur has sailed out right into the middle of our bay, dooming himself. And I'm sure he doesn't even realize the danger that he's in. Unfortunately, I don't know if we can crush the Khemri and crush Morgur at the same time. I think this is going to be kind of a pick one. Because I think, well, Morgur's army's not that impressive, though. If we put Pete back in normal movement mode, no, he can't quite reach. But he could threaten. The thing is, we could have Aranessa sail out there and probably grab him.
The crew are restless.
Do I trust Henrietta to do it?
The fleet master has spoken.
Probably
most infamous.
not. If we did have Aranessa ride out and crush him, then we could have Pete immediately start for Montanos and try to just knock that out before they can field a replacement army. But the thing is, I think we've got a really great opportunity here to smash King Kadeskaf. And if we do that, it probably lets us take the Black Tower and maybe even the Black Pyramid. And at some point the Khemri are going to have to, the lizardmen are pushing up real close to them, actually. How y'all doing? They're down to 10 settlements remaining from the 18 we saw them at last time we checked. And they are rated as slightly less powerful than we are. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take Zandri back. We are maybe going to claim the whole of the Cracked Land. And we're going to sue for peace. And Morgur can be a second-tier concern.
Vampire of the waves.
All right, you just get over here and provide some support. So if we attack the settlement directly, Kadeskaf's tired units show up later. But I kind of want to start against them. I think given the numbers here, yeah, it's going to give us a low casualty victory. The bloated corpse, whose only role in the battle is to explode, explodes. No big surprise there. But yeah, just the raw numerical advantage is too much for these troops, especially with some of them coming in late. And
The tides rise to battle.
all right, we're going to get a fair amount of money out of that. We stole a potion of healing for the new army. That's fun. And we could take some replenishment, but I'd rather have the 2,000 gold. In this case, we'll ransom their various canopic jars and whatnot back to the rest of the Khemri Empire.
Show no mercy.
Just go ahead and occupy this, make this friendly territory so we can get healed up nice and fast.
I don't like them.
You can learn some new stuff. Oh, she's a vampire, huh? I intended to grab the Lord who was on Lore of the Deeps. I guess I grabbed the wrong one. Well, that's fine. Vampires is a fine, yeah, this is a fine lore. It's got some good stuff. It's got that persistent healing from Invocation of Nahek. And then Wind of Death is an extremely powerful damage spell. The Curse of Years is a very effective debuff on enemies, sort of prematurely aging them mid-battle. Yeah, we're good. We'll stick with this. And you need to recruit something.
Treasure is there.
What do we want to fill with? I guess maybe just a unit of Sartosan Free Company. There's not much out here. Or we could grab like,
Ours is the sea.
gosh, these are not very good units. Can you get back over the line?
On the double.
Yeah, okay.
Follow, shipmates.
We can back you up over the line into Alhaik, and Alhaik has some much better stuff in the raised dead pool. Cannons? Maybe some depth guard, even? Maybe we even like cut the scurvy dogs for some depth guard. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for us to have some, like this army. Right now, the dogs are the only thing we have that's kind of fast. But we could just like get together some hammer and anvil troops here, I suppose. The dogs are not kind of fast either. The dogs are very fast. Really, really good at harassing like archer units and stuff. Maybe actually what I do is kick out the gunner, the
Admiral of
bombers.
the fleet.
Recruit a couple of units of depth guard. There we go.
The seas are mine.
Salt water.
And I think there's an interesting
Need a
question
swordfish.
as to whether we have Aranessa turn around and fight Morgar, or whether we have Pete try to chase Morgar. I think I want to send Pete toward the Beastmen home settlement. So we're at level 48. We have 2 skill points in the bank. We're going to get 3 more over the course of the game. We have to figure out how we want to spend these. So this gives leadership speed and melee defense up to some of the more explicitly monstrous units that we can recruit. Probably not stuff that she's going to be dealing with. This is melee attack, missile resistance, and armor for, again, a bunch of units she's probably not going to be dealing with. So I think I might not bother with those skills. Tenacity is just a chunk of HP. Lucky Charm is just some missile resistance. Usually good for a... Oh, right, missile resistance for rotting Prometheans. We're actually using these now. And then I might want missile resistance for her personally. Let's get the HP. HP is effective against everything. We may still take the missile resistance as well. All right, missile strength up versus reload time reduction. I mean, they're both good. We're going to max them both out. We'll start with the reload time reduction, I guess. And you... for some reason, I was assuming that these were, what do you call it? These were exclusive. It's very often the case that units will have powerful skills on this second line where you choose one and it locks all the others. If we can have both deception and kidnapping, we absolutely take them both. And you know what? We can pursue upgrades to Sandry right away. Let's perform this. Get ourselves a little bit of money. How long until... Wow, we still don't have the population even to upgrade this to full. Sartosa's got to have it though, right? And I think we're hitting like a calm here. I think this is when we go for this. We can make that happen. Although actually, I guess it's better to upgrade Aranessa's buildings and globally recruit from those than it is to globally recruit from these. So, it's one of the green buildings. Is it this one? It is this one. Okay, maybe we hold off for a second. Let's finish Composite Hull, because the unit that unlocks recruitment of is something I very much want in my armies. And yeah, Pete Wakefield is just gonna ride. Actually, we might not even have to wait.
Swiftly now.
If there's money to be had at this Leviathan's corpse. With a gush of putrid water, the bloated corpse of an ancient sea leviathan surfaces close by. You consider sending your crew to investigate what secrets the cadaver of the sea beast will bestow, but such an expedition is not without risk. When alive, these creatures are known to host parasites the size of wolves, and even colonies of needle-toothed aquatic man-things. Even so, there may be valuables to be found within its stinking gut. Yeah, we'll just approach. We could wait and get whatever's left over after whoever has disappeared. But fuck them, I'll fight people for treasure. Oh yeah, it's not even that, it's a tiny unit of pirates. They do have a couple of rotting leviathans, like huge crab monsters, but not a big deal for this many guns.
War and infamy.
We could basically go back to full, or we could take not really that much money. Let's take the ranged units, go back to full. A corpse of such a size does not go unnoticed, and sure enough, on your way, etc. monsters. So we found a Scepter of Stability, which is not a very impressive item, and also 6,000 additional gold. And 7,000 additional gold. Because, you know, we're very good pirates, and for some reason that means there was more money there? Question mark? We're going to pick up Lightning Strike. Obviously, we're headed to Black Flag as soon as we can get it. But Lightning Strikes shortly afterward. Finish off Blunderbuss, so now you have that with no range penalty.
No prey, no pay.
And then we continue forth. And that means Aranessa can go ahead and just buy this upgrade right now. Yeah, I'm eager to have a Necrofex Colossus to work with. And that's going to be very good for us. This would unlock our ability to recruit Rotting Leviathans as well. We just get to go all the way to the top. You know what? Let's do it. And Rotting Promethean Gunnery mobs actually were not available to Aranessa's army before this. We had to recruit them from stationary buildings. So I think that's a pretty good set of things to do with all that money.
Journeying.
All right, I'm a little bit less familiar with the terrain over here. So there's a bay. Yeah, there's a bay down here where there could potentially be interesting ports. And then there's Cathay itself, which has like rivers and a sea. And we have just enough money to build stuff I'm not interested in building. I mean, I guess a growth building would not be terrible. We have so much like recovery of territory to do eventually.
It shall be done.
But that was a productive turn, and Henrietta's only one turn away from getting slotted into the officer structure. It was a real bummer to lose, you know, the other captain whose name I've definitely not forgotten, because that would be disrespectful. But this is the cost of war. Occasionally, in a war, someone dies. And that's pretty weird when they were already dead. This raises a lot of questions as to the nature of life and animus and the spark that unites us all, etc. How do you kill a zombie? All right, it might not be necessary for us to ride up here, but I just don't trust the Skaven to actually pull the trigger. Okay, assaulting Xandri's garrison is not going to get you anywhere anyway. And Aranessa can certainly hold off what's left of the Khemri in the area by herself. So we might have the new army just try to play defense against Morgar. I don't really want to let up the pressure on the Khemri right now. Although we also probably don't want to take too much more territory from them. Like, it's one thing to attack and burn stuff. It's quite another to try to actually like run all of this stuff, all of this landlocked desert territory. Maybe we could take it all and then give a bunch of it to the Skaven. Let them figure it out. Okay, some minor Empire faction was destroyed. It's very whatever. Don't know what you're up to.
Undead raiders. Setting sail.
All right, let's get up on land here, and then we're gonna suffer some attrition from being in an area with such high chaos attrition, or such high chaos corruption. Next turn, we can go into encampment mode and try to use our natural undead healing abilities to offset it. All right, our wizard is nearly level 20, which is wonderful. What do we want to do with you? I probably want to finish learning Fog of the Damned, learn the upgraded version and the reduced cost and the lowered miscast chance. This Fog of the Damned is actually quite impressive. So yeah, like this should be relatively easy to take with the 2 armies. The question is, do I think I'm going to have to bring both armies? Because Morgar is going to do something annoying over here, I'm sure. Unlike most factions, the beastmen can't just, like, take over your stuff and use it to power them, really. So I'm a lot less worried about letting him run wild over the coastline than I was about some of our other enemies.
Darkness comes.
My ship!
That said, the Black Tower has enough units in its garrison to make attacking them directly right now with just 1 army kind of... it seems unlikely. Still very minus on a peace treaty. Well, I think we're going to have to march in.
The crew are restless.
And I think the effectiveness of that march is going to be limited to some degree by how far Henrietta can move. And we're just going to let Morgar do what Morgar wants to do.
Agreed.
And I don't know, I'll try to be in ambush mode here
The trap is set.
next to my other army. We'll see if that does anything to them. So I think we have to go south in order to get east anyway, right?
Time to move.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know this area at all.
land.
And then that leaves us with a fair amount of money with which to do what? We do still need to upgrade Sartosa. We could just save toward that. I'm a little reluctant to upgrade Virus any when it looks like it might just get taken out immediately. We're going to need a lot more population to improve Vulture Mountain. You know what? This is probably worthwhile. Just upping the growth rate. Yeah, maybe we just bank the rest of it, honestly.
The temperature's
All right, let's see what the Khemri do with this. Even if Aranessa's ambush holds, I'm certainly not expecting King Thutmose to run forward and get into a fight with us, because his army is tiny and he's actively recruiting. But you can never tell if there might be a another army further back, or rather you can tell, you just need like a scout or something. And I should probably remember to hire a new Morngul Haunter since we lost the last one. That's a real shame too. He was like 16 or 17. He was getting pretty close. I don't think that's a good idea. He was getting pretty close to his own immortality. All right, Khemri, what you got? Is it fleeing? It could be fleeing. The ambush has held. We're still invisible. Yep, and they did in fact try to ride into us for some reason. I mean, no, I'm not going to lose my mortars here. What are you talking about? Okay, so Aranessa's going to show up 40 seconds into the battle thanks to her improved lightning strike skills. We're going to take this one manually, even though we shouldn't have to, just so that it doesn't kill my mortar crew, because I don't want to spend the time rehiring them. And, you know, like, keeping units alive through multiple battles, obviously, is a pretty good way to get your level upgrades and stuff. So we will plant our army here. Let Aranessa come in right on the flank of these Khemri as they advance. So they have a giant. It's worth noting. This is not like a totally trivial force. They have a giant. They have some Ushabti. They have Ushabti with great bows. Nope, sorry. It was supposed to be this. Goes here. All the crabs kind of go in front. And then guns. And I'm not really expecting these units to do very much during the battle as a whole. And who are you? Oh, the dogs. Yeah. I don't know what to do with y'all. Just kind of get over here. There we go. Really what this battle is all about is Aranessa's force coming in and embarrassing them. My mortars are definitely facing the wrong direction, though. That's the thing that needs to get fixed. And, in fact, we can just start applying the cannon fire right now. I led them a little bit. I forgot to account for their very old tendons. Okay. That's a pretty good starting volley. Here come the rest of the troops. Okay, this should be pretty straightforward from here. Okay, so first things first. Mortars, gee, what do I fire out with the mortars? I don't even think any of these units are good. Yeah, I guess focus on their tomb guard. The rest of y'all... So there's the great bows over there. I mean, I think we more or less just want to push them, right? We have to be a little bit careful about this because our units don't move at the same speed. It's real easy for some of us to outpace the others. But like the game's basic approach strategy feels pretty right. Just like go forward, go hard. I think at this point... I'm gonna have the other armies like healthy units approach. We can provide a little bit of force, but I don't really want to put anybody at risk. All right, yeah, you run up. This unit of storm vermin, I guess, can join us as well. But yeah, this is largely gonna be the Araness Assault Spite show. Their bone giant here has a bow, you can see. It's effectively an artillery unit. Okay, so first things first. All of you are hyper-focused on the Necropolis Knights. Burn those motherfuckers down. We got a lot of guns. This shouldn't be a problem. You can just kind of toss some grenades. This army is actually a lot faster than a lot of Tomb King armies, a lot of Vampirate armies, due to being relatively low on troops that are actually just zombies. Like almost everything here is either ogres or on the back of a crab. You can see how much slower our gun troops are. Do we want to have Aranessa just like run full speed into the conflict? I kind of think so. Like fucking, let's do this. We'll net somebody. We'll ruin some days. You got your moonshine. Okay. All right. I'm gonna net those Ushabti probably. Like the most dangerous units that this army has running. Just don't engage directly with them. Do, however, throw grenades at them a little bit. All right, where's all of this unit's guns? All this army's gun units. Just focus on the Ushabti. And actually, let's get a little bit of focus on their lord. If we can burn their lord down fairly quickly, I think that'll be really good for us. We're about to have our cannons available. You lot get like real close. And is it time for magics? So this murders the melee attack of a bunch of units. The problem is it's actually gonna be pretty hard to use Vangeist's Revenge here, but I can just throw some crabs into the battle. Keep in mind we have this Helm of Discord, which dramatically drops the melee stats of enemy units over a pretty large area. So after we summon these crabs, I'm going to run the wizard this way a little bit. Alright, you fight that scorpion because you're large. Because you're anti-large. Actually, she should be able to fuck up some Great Bow Ushabti really easily. And you can see their their units are already suffering. The Ushabti are the only things I would hit right now. I'm gonna try to... Here, we're gonna run like here and drop the Helm of Discord more in the middle. Okay, people are still running up slow. Honestly, by the time they get there, the Ushabti aren't going to be around anymore. We focus on the Great Bows, I suppose? Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, a couple units of healthy crabs. And we have our cannons. What if I just shoot I mean, we could just shoot Aranessa with the cannon. She's tough. She'll survive. Hey, look at that. Hardly did any damage to her at all. And the crabs that are over here are not real units. Remember, these are the summoned crabs, so...
Fleet captain! Yes!
Ward, save yourself. May as well hit the moonshine as well. More crabs. And as soon as all this stuff breaks, a lot of these units are going to fall into the backside of these catapults. Or these charioteers. Go chase their lord down.
Midnight Raider!
Alright. That's some good wizarding.
Manning the pistols! Jumpy!
Sedusa's finest! Moving!
Okay, actually, there's not even anything over here to challenge anymore. There we go. It's silly. It's silly that we had to do that.
I'll cut them!
Because there's seriously, I just cannot imagine a version of this where we lose that mortar unit. What would we have had to do? Put them on the front lines? Oh no, not my fake crabs. Summoned units, when their summon timer ends, they do die like very unceremoniously, just fall to pieces. All right, and Henrietta managed to get 7 kills. I don't think she ever made it into melee, so I assume they were all just like pistol kills on the tomb guard that were being fought by Aranessa. But hey, that's still experience points. So I assume they have another army in the area, and what they were doing there was running Thutmocris up to serve as reinforcements, and then they were going to bring in the main force. Hard to imagine, though, like, are we seriously unaware of? It would have to have been, well, maybe not. I was going to say it would have had to have been a full-size army, but I think, like, the auto-resolver was really underestimating the effectiveness of this force in the first place, even without the reinforcing army. So maybe the Khemri did think they could do this with just, like, 2 8-stacks or something. In any case, this is a very bad outcome for them. This is gonna do bad things to their ability to defend the Black Pyramid. I would prefer to take the replenishment if it were a little bit more. Yeah, this I think we'll, at these values, I think we will ransom the captives. Well, there is another force in the Black Pyramid. I feel like that that necromantic faction up there has had like no army for basically the entire time we've been aware of them, and somehow nobody has feasted. Nobody has taken advantage. Okay, Morgar's gonna knock down Kofor, which is annoying. We're gonna have to rebuild it for like the 40th time, but it is way more important that we close out this nonsense with the Khemri. If they don't give up before we take these next 2 cities, I think they're probably going to lose their other war as well, because they're going to lose a lot of upgraded recruitment buildings here. Okay, capture and occupy the Black Tower of Archon. You got it. Absolutely.
Admiral of the fleet.
All right, level 6. So the Curse of Undeath gives a little bit of healing to all of our units on the battlefield every time we cast anything at all. So we have access to Van Hel's Danse Macabre, which is a big buff for our units. The Gaze of Nagash, which is like a magic missile type spell. Not my favorite sort of thing. Or Drowned Dead, which allows us to summon a unit of zombie pirate deckhands. This is, I believe, the pistol and sword variant, and they're honestly just kind of not very good. Danse Macabre is great, though. Oh man, I hate to jinx it or anything, but might we have a Gunnery Wight actually hit level 20? Could it be? Could it happen? I think I'm going to have Henrietta lead the attack here.
Brine for blood.
Well, I don't know. If I do that, I bet...
All of aboard.
If I do that, I bet I will not be able to auto-resolve this safely. Oh no, okay. It's perfectly clean. So, like, they have a big garrison, but it is kind of a strange garrison in some ways. The Ushabti and the Necrosphinx actually don't play very well with defensive, like, with fights over defensive points until you get inside the city, at which point the rest of the army might be so thin that it doesn't matter that you have a cool monster.
Make yourselves at home.
Alright, go ahead and occupy this. We'll take all those rewards. We are now the 2nd most infamous pirate in the world, although there is a ways to go between us and Baron Vudhisti.
Admiral of the fleet.
And to be perfectly honest with you, I would at this point, as much as I just said I don't think Drowned Dead is very good, I think Gaze of Nagash is worse. At this point, I would very much be willing to just like let this whole thing go.
Cheer, you curs!
And I think that it would definitely be in the best interests of the Khemri
Father!
to consider that. Ooh, we could ride out and hit the Black Pyramid right now. Interesting.
My servant.
So the Black Pyramid is a whole situation unto itself, and it holds special significance for the Khemri because it has this kind of stuff going on. It's not valuable to us in the least, and I think if I took it with Aranessa, I would just burn it. We'd get rid of their recruitment buildings and just make them start over. I'm assuming they have good stuff in Khemri itself as well. Kind of thinking like I'd like somebody to turn around and deal with Morgar at some point, but we got to make sure this gets done first.
Admiral of the fleet.
Actually, hold on.
All above board.
Pete can make it all the way to Montanos this turn. I didn't realize. What does the garrison here look like? It's big, but is it dangerous? So they have a bunch of Bestigor, which are even better than Gore, if you could imagine. And if you look at their stats, they're still like only okay. 35-30 on attack and defense. They have a decent charge bonus, but they have good armor. Their attacks are largely armor piercing. You know, it's something. They have some Centaur warherds. Harpies are kind of a non-unit. Minotaurs. They have a Cygor, which is a cyclopean monster in both senses of the word that just hucks huge rocks like basically like a living mortar. That's pretty fun. This doesn't look like a very good force though, and I think I might be able to just kill them. Yeah, that's not a well-fitted force to our fight here. Ooh, the War Standard of the Corpse Surgeons is a pretty good piece of loot. And we are absolutely just burning this shit to the ground.
The seas are my domain.
All right. So, Black Flag, beautiful. Let's finish off Lightning Strike as well. I'd like proper Lightning Strike abilities. You can pick up... Well, I guess I don't have any levels of training. I probably should have training. And that was just normal movement, so we can go into encampment mode right away and start benefiting from our ridiculous necromantic magic enhanced replenishment levels.
Ours is this.
Now that we've done that, Morgar, you are in a grim shape here. But he's not willing to go to peace. All right, well, Pete's on the way to punish him for his insolence, and I think we're just going to surge forward with the rest of the troops.
The Queen of Tides!
This is the second to last skill point Aranessa will ever have. What do we want to do with it? We could pick up another yellow line skill. Like, we could grab her 12 points of melee defense or 12 points of... Oh, no, sorry. Swashbuckler does not give 12 melee attack. It's some melee attack and some missile resistance. Interesting. Because right now, she is a very good fighter, but, like, actual elite character versus character combatants will do a lot of damage to her very quickly. She's also vulnerable to missile fire, though. I think I'm going to grab this. Yeah, we'll finish off Swashbuckler. Congratulations on level 20 and your immortality. And also you should probably have your training leveled up, although at this point this army doesn't really benefit from it so much, I guess.
We return to Sartosa as legends!
Caster is also almost level 20, and I think it's probably worth maxing out Spiteful Shot. As you have seen, Spiteful Shot can really dramatically improve the damage output of the army in the short term. The Black Pyramid has a 15-unit garrison that does include a catapult. But a lot of archers, some chariots, yeah. I think we can just take this.
Water! Attack! Through to
I will
war!
take a close victory, and then we will just burn it for 10,000 gold.
Burn!
I don't want it. I just don't want you to have it.
Find treasure!
And that's max level Aranessa. And all of her characters are immortal now. Fantastic. This army is doing great. It's in very good shape. I don't really love Tide Call, and I kind of don't think Kraken's Pull is all that good either. So I'm actually going to just start focusing on Lottie's personal melee capabilities.
All praise the Sea Father!
There's no reason not to go into encampment mode, right? And then we have a ton of money. What else do we want to improve on her ship? So we're already at the maximum number of uses for our cannons. Yeah, these upgrades are not fantastic. Like, this one gives us 5 infamy per turn. This, I guess, is more upkeep reduction. This is more movement range, although I don't know. Are we, by any chance, already capped on bonus move speed? We probably are. All right, well, what else could we add here that would be meaningful? We have all the green buildings already. Oh, right, the Saw Shark's Blade. Income from raiding and sacking settlements up dramatically. Honestly, we probably don't need any of the things that this does. So, recruitment structure? Right now, the only thing that's exciting that we can't make is a Deathshriek Terrorgeist. So, sure. And then we can spend the rest of this money on other things, like upgrading Sartosa to tier 5. Okay, and ammunition up for my we're really not running out of bullets. Bonus versus infantry is kind of whatever. I mean, none of this stuff is really blowing my mind. Melee defense up for the gunnery mobs in case enemies get into them is kind of something. Construction time down for buildings is not very exciting. Construction time is rarely our bottleneck. Yeah, this is tough. We've run out of interesting researches. I mean, this does something. All right, so my hope is to take El Calabad, and then we'll grab all this stuff, and maybe we can just let it lie there. I'd be happy to let it lie there.
Captain, reporting.
It would be good for us not to butt all the way up against the wow, that sea is a lot further than I thought it was. All right, let's try going east through the mountains. We'll see if we can get to Cathay.
So be it.
It's going to be a long walk, friends. Yeah, I think let's just bank for the moment. We have a lot of stuff to do yet. So Morgar's going to knock down Kofor, and there's not much I could do about it. It's probably going to take Pete like 2 or 3 turns to get back down here. But I think at this point, now that that settlement has been destroyed, if they lose Morgar, I think that faction might get eliminated, actually. Oh, right. We need to look at our objectives list. Let's do that at the beginning of this coming turn, which I'm totally going to remember. All right, I'm assuming the Skaven are going to continue not lifting a finger to help me under any circumstances. They told me that they were going to help us fight Morgar. They were like, yeah, no, I'm totally doing that. I'm on the way right now. What is King Agatep doing? I'm a little worried about this. Look at how red that Reichland bar is. We are as powerful as we have ever been. And we are as nothing compared to the might of the Reichland. That said, if they come down here and they want to make a thing of it, I am confident we will find a way to embarrass them over and over again until such time as they die from it. Yep. And they always go for Kofor. They know it has the cool docks. Oh, really? Can you take a settlement? I thought that they had like a special thing. The beastmen have been reworked a lot since last I played them. Maybe that's the thing to do sometime soon. Well, in any case, Pete's on the way. And also, in theory, we should be bringing people back from the distant front against the Khemri here relatively soon. Raise or sack Sudenburg. I don't really want to do that, if I'm honest. Kind of hoping not to have to go that far with it.
Hate the heat.
Landfolk are weak.
All right, well, Henrietta can take Alcalabad, no problem.
The lust is upon me.
One of my units of dogs died. I didn't even think about it. I wasn't even looking. Because I was like, this is so obviously a free battle. This is the freest battle there's ever been. And then the game had to be difficult about it. So we're definitely going to prioritize learning Wind of Death. When you see Wind of Death in action, you will understand why. It is such a delight. Okay, the Black Tower has a set of buildings that are maybe not the buildings I would most want it to have. Some defenses might be a good idea. Perhaps one of these. When you take over a settlement, if it's high enough level that it still, you know, can have reasonable buildings after it de-levels from you conquering it, they'll usually try to convert whatever they had into something equivalent that you have. So this was, I'm sure, this is a purple recruiting structure and stuff. Alcalabad. Should probably build the pigment grinder's shop. And now, let's see how the Khemri are feeling now. -14, still pretty negative on the whole peace thing. Well, then I'm going to burn their capital to the ground, I think. That's how I'm gonna deal with that.
Too hot.
So, I mean, we could burn Sudenburg. I think taking out Khemri will really teach them a lesson, though. So let's look at our objective list, like I was saying. Sorry, I keep forgetting. So, for the short campaign victory, we have to occupy, loot, raise, or sack 30 different settlements. We haven't even hit the short campaign number yet. Also, of course, we have to get a hold of the Galleon's Graveyard. Once we've done this, all of our armies will get even more replenishment rate. And then for the long victory, we have to get to 25,000 infamy, which we are well on our way to. But also, we have to get to 75 different settlements conquered. And that's going to be a bit of a walk yet. So, reaching out and burning down things we've never burned down before certainly has some value. Okay, positive on me, but not positive enough for contracts. I don't really want to fight you. I will, but I don't want to. Like, how do we want to handle this? I probably want more than just Aranessa going forward here if we're going to try to burn down their capital. So maybe she does come down here and hang out with Henrietta. Just stay close to Henrietta. I think Henrietta's going to be the one who is like the limit on how far we can move effectively.
March, you dead curs!
Ooh, it looks like we can get just across. Is that not true? There we go.
Keep moving.
The Tillian Sea is a replenishment zone for us. Yeah, there we go. We managed to get it just barely into it. Because it's a region that is only controlled by us and allied players. Alright, and then that's a lot of distance to cross, but also we sail very quickly. And I'm not going to stress about any of this too much. Right, and I'm supposed to be hiring a Morngul Haunter to replace the Lost Haunter. I actually can't. I need a mangrove of monsters. We can do it at Aranessa, I believe.
Right.
Recruit hero. Yeah, here we go. Oh, actually, we're allowed to have 2 of them. So, you know, a thing we could do is we could put one of them in an army. We could have Henrietta actually host one of these things as a fighter. Let's recruit this one. Lee Rogers is the
Pirate Queen.
is going to be our new map hero, and the other one will join Henrietta's army because they are good fighters. They do some real damage. And then we just keep an eye on what the hell Morgar is up to. And Wendy had like a tiny bit of movement that I forgot. I forgot to even look at her. It is really nice to feel like we don't have to devote so many bodies to like threats coming from every direction all of the time. We've done a great job of consolidating our danger until Hexawaddle shows up on the horizon again with a bunch of boats that are weirdly made out of stone. Is Clan Scryer actually sending an army down here to help us? No, not even a little bit. They're not even pretending to. Okay, our man is executed instantly. What in the hell is this empty army doing? I don't think I'm going to even bother dealing with them, because they're very out of the way. But they don't seem like a threat to us at all. All right, there are many armies of chaos demons all over the world. They are doing horrible things. We'll just have Pete sail down the coast and catch this army. I would love to be able to devote units from the Khemri front to this, because we could like sandwich him. But I think as long as the Khemri are putting up a defense that is backed by 20 unit garrisons, we kind of need both of our armies to keep pushing forward. Okay, Lee Rogers has been immediately wounded.
Kill or be killed. Journeying.
Of the fleet.
All right. I guess we can swing through this on the way.
I'll order it. Plotting a course.
Yep, we'll face a foe in battle. Ooh, this is like a real army, but apparently still no problem.
Brave guns. Fight.
I'm telling you, you get a lot of value out of the crabs and the ogres.
Gold for prisoners.
I really like being able to run a small number of ogres in the army. I think it gives it a lot of kick. Pete found 20,000 gold and a pretty good unit standard in that battle. That's actually really rad.
By your will.
Has the crew's respect.
That is so much money. We just made so much money. I guess training. It's a good skill to have leveled up, even if the army
Serve for eternity.
at the moment doesn't need it a ton. You know, sometimes you lose an army in a way that's somewhat unpredictable. Wow, yeah, Pete really hauls ass. He's going to catch up with Morgar next turn. That's awesome.
Plunder!
Okay. Henrietta, what can we do? We can burn down Sudenburg.
I forbid this.
Ooh, there's Setra himself. He has graced us with his presence and his chariot with the flaming wheels and whatnot. How are they feeling about peace at this moment? Minus 38. Pretty negative on the concept. How big is the garrison at Sudenburg?
My faith in you wanes.
18 units. They're not at full health. We could probably two-stack this, right? And my units are all in... Yeah, my units are all in pretty good health.
So be it.
Sardasa's most infamous.
We're gonna overwhelm the armies that they are using to recruit here before Sedra can show up and ruin everything. Okay, that's just one guy on the back of a Necrosphinx.
Make them fish food.
Yeah, this should be a real easy battle for us. Do we lose anything? No. We're like we outnumber them so significantly.
The Sea Father calls. His daughter answers.
And once again, 20,000 gold.
Burn it.
All of the money. All right, Henrietta got herself a rotting Promethean to ride around. We got an extra 2,400 there.
Vampire of the waves.
How much money have we made just this turn? We had to, yeah.
On the double.
I was at the edge of my normal movement range.
Swiftly now.
Want to make sure we stay together. Because together, I don't think Setra's army is anywhere near a threat to us. He just doesn't have enough bodies. Yeah. How do these lizard men feel about us? Even all the work we're doing against their hated enemies can't quite bridge that gap, huh? All right, so Swashbuckler, which for this unit still does the same thing. We have 60 attack, 50 defense. We have a ton of armor, not so much health, though. I think I would rather buff health. Let's make that a higher priority.
More bodies washed up.
All right, and Aranessa didn't use any march points, so she can just go into big upgrades mode at the end. Let's see here. Zandri can pick up defenses. The Black Tower of Archon can do what? This area is already like fully vampirically corrupted. Yeah, I don't even know what I want to do here. I don't think we're in like any danger or anything. Okay, this should get upgraded for sure. I would love to upgrade Lashiak, but I suspect it's about to get burned. Looks like Phyrus is going to be safe. We can probably push upgrades at Phyrus. Somehow Maragliano still is not able to go to tier 5. 14 turns until we have that population. All right, we're 5 turns away from that upgrade finishing. And I guess we just like go ahead and roll like everything that can upgrade gets upgraded. At the Black Tower. Oh, you know what? El Calabad does not benefit from having one of these. I will build one of these here. Because it might be the case that it makes sense for every settlement to have its own gun recruitment building. Yeah, we'll hold off on that Lashiak upgrade. Just because that way, no matter where we are, we can get one-turn rifles. But if we're going to build it, we want to build it in a place where we can get the 4th upgrade level on it so that we can recruit
Ours is the sea.
relatively fast and cheap Prometheans as well. Promethean gun mobs. All right, how's Setra feeling about peace now? Still pretty negative, actually. And listen, I know he's mad. It's just a matter of survival at this point. Oh, I am still going to hire that other hero. Tom Bloodletter. Presumably, presumably a chosen name. And I have to say, it's a strong one. I really feel like it should be more common for people to choose their own names. Your parents give you a name and you wear that for a while until you start to figure out who you are. And then you take on a name of your own that means something. And maybe you choose to stick with the name your parents gave you as a way of honoring them, or because it has come to mean a particular thing. Or maybe you pick something, but you can learn so much about someone from what they choose to be called. And it's a very empowering experience. And if a guy names himself Tom Bloodletter, you know a bunch of things about that dude. Like, immediately. So I'm a little bit worried about the... part of the reason I'm burning stuff down and trying to leave this buffer zone that I'm hoping the Khemri will refill after we get peace from them is that I want them to remain between us and the lizards, because I don't want to have to go to war with the lizard men. We have kind of a tough time sometimes, depending on composition, fighting these Khemri armies, right? It's when they've got too many good infantry, they can pose a real problem for us. Lizardman armies are that, but so much more so. Sauruses and temple guards are so hard to kill with guns, and they just live forever and ever. They never give up. They have crazy leadership. I don't want to have to deal with that on our front. That said, maybe the plan is just we go all the way to the southern edge of the map. We go to the South Pole.
Time for battle. Time to feed.
Okay, he raised it instead of conquering it. Interesting. I don't think that Pete's going to be able to attack that settlement this turn, but he's going to be able to get close. And I was definitely thinking if they conquer it, there is some chance that we can catch them before they can get away from it. Especially if they feel they have to spend a turn in it to replenish after the fight. But I don't think it had real defenses. I don't think it had a garrison building. So probably that wasn't happening anyway. Alright, how close is Pete? We're not going to play this turn. Not right now. But, okay, yeah, Pete could not have reached Lashiek in non-burn-it-down mode. Okay, well, we know at least some of what's going to be going on next time. That is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you return next time, we will finally only be fighting in one direction at a time. Can you imagine the incredible might and focus we will be able to bring to bear in a situation like that? Truly, the world quakes at our infamy. And we'll see you then.